Hey everybody, it's Michael from Replica Airguns, and I wanted to introduce you to an interesting new product from ANT, Advanced Novelty Tech. This is the HPA or CO2 conversion kit, and it's for airsoft, BB, and pellet guns. Now it works with basically mostly pistols, but a few rifles. I believe there's 100 guns in all that it works with, or roughly 100 guns. So you can see here, it works with remote hose and tanks, so it can work with CO2 or high pressure air using these types of lines here with these adapters, right? And I'll show you what's inside here in a second. Easy drop-in installation, fits most CO2 pistols, more consistent FPS for sure. So what I'll try and do is when I do a conversion, or once I do the conversion, I'll see if I can do a quick chrony test with just the regular 12 gram CO2 and shoot maybe 10 rounds, see how it drops. Then we'll use the actual CO2 larger tank with the conversion kit and see how that works. Now of course you're going to get a lot more shots per CO2, tons of shots with these big tanks, of course. Alright, and you can actually use 12 gram CO2 in the gun after the conversion parts have been put in, because this part of the conversion kit can come out and you can just put a regular 12 gram CO2 tank in there if you want to. So let's take a look and see what's inside real quick. Now I will be doing a more thorough shooting review, so I'll try it out and I'll show you actually how to I'll maybe actually make a little video converting one real quick myself. So anyways, you've got this little instruction manual here. Now I'm going to be putting links in the description of this video and in the written post article on how to basically do that. I'll be linking to their website, and they have lots of information there and some videos of their own showing you how to do this. This sort of written version is going to be harder to kind of figure out. But essentially, there's not much to it. You have a few rubber, basically, seals. You've got these two parts that replace your screw and tab, and then you have this unit that goes in and is interchangeable with 12 gram CO2. It's basically just a flow-through, kind of straight-through pipe that allows the CO2 to go through. So I've got two guns here that I know are approved, and by the way, you can see here, here's a whole list of the guns. Now I'll see if I can put a link to this description here, or this list of guns, but there's all kinds of guns that this works with. You see there's quite a few, right? So those are the lists. And when you look at the list, you can see here that it says sometimes there's some modifications necessary. So basically when they say the mag mod, for instance, if you had a gun like this with a cover, how are you going to put the line through there? So if the actual screw fits in this part here, so let me pull this out. So if the screw can replace this screw so you can get the CO2, and if their little adapter unit can fit through here, you're going to have to get the line through this cover. So you'd have to modify the cover, cut it out or something, and that's what they're talking about. But lots of guns don't need that. For instance, this H&K, you can actually go through this bottom valve here, right? You can go right through there, and you don't need to basically modify it at all, really. And then same with this guy, because you have access to the tab, you don't need to modify any butt plates or anything like that as well. So these guys, no modification really necessary. So what would you do with a gun like this? Well, you'd pull this out, right? I'm just giving you the real quick here, sort of explanation on how to do this, right? So you go through there, you would place this, so this is the bottom, you'd basically screw this in through, and then you would, that's right, you'd put this guy, I'm doing it backwards, this goes this way, and then this would go in basically into the bottom, so this would come through like this, so it would go through it, then you'd screw this in, right, and so this would be basically going through the center, and you'd use plumber's tape on it, and then you tighten the two up, right, and then that would be basically everything ready to go. This would click into here. Okay, so you could push that on there. Interchangeable if you want. Now if you want, you can essentially screw in the whole unit together by screwing this piece in. So when you're putting this all back in, once it's all in there, it's going to go in there like that, right? This would basically be going through the center, right? So you wouldn't see any of the screw, and all you would really see would be this going through the bottom like that, right? And this would be coming up through the top, and this goes in here like this. Sorry, wrong way. Goes in there. Now you use a little bit of, you're supposed to use some Pelgan oil, so that would help a lot, but that would go in there. This would push up against it to complete the seal. Okay, so that's how that all works. And of course this would be on the bottom and it would connect to your HPA. So kind of explains how it works. It's pretty cool. Now with a gun like this, you would, if I pull this back we'll be able to see it better. You would remove the CO2 screw and tab. And how you do that, and they have videos showing that, you'd pop the pin out and then you'd unscrew the CO2 screw basically through the top. You would replace it with this one going in that way and then screw it in through the bottom, right? So then it's all basically going to work that way, and then you would just adjust it up as you needed to. So this would become essentially, see, once it's tight, you would then use a little wrench to move this up and down and tighten in to this guy. He's going to sit right in there. Pull this down. Hopefully I'm making sense to you guys. I'll make a little video where I do this, hopefully, but this would replace that. It would go through the CO2, basically through the hole there, and that would push up on that and compress it all, and that would be your whole system right there. So that'll give you just basically a little bit of an overview. I wanted to show you this. The next video you'll see on the ANT, or the ANT Advanced Novelty Tech conversion kit, is me basically doing a real quick preliminary field test, just shooting with the 12 gram CO2, not for accuracy, because accuracy really won't be a factor, but just for FPS, so feet per second performance, sustained. And I'll show you, probably going to use a gun like this, shoot some 12 gram CO2, maybe 10 to 20 rounds, see how it drops off, and then hook up the CO2 with the conversion kit, with the Advanced Novelty Tech conversion kit, and see how it performs when I do that. So that's the plan, and I'll try and get to that as soon as the weather picks up. It just got a little bit crappy here over the last few days, but it should get nice again. Got some nice weather rolling in. I'm going to be doing a couple other field test reviews for you then as well. So stay posted for those guys. Thanks for watching another Replica Airguns video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter. Username is Replica Airguns. Also come on down to ReplicaAirguns.com, where I have articles, posts, reviews, usually some photos there for you to check out of a lot of the products that I review and showcase. We also have our Canada and US Replica Airgun stores, where we sell air guns, BB guns, pellet guns, airsoft guns, blank guns, knives, and other accessories. Until next time, take care.